Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're gonna talk about the current progress in humanity that we are going back to the moon finally and hopefully to stay this time. So first let's get some context. So there was a race known as the Great Race. So this happened between 1957 to 1975, and this was between USA and USSR. Now here's the deal: because this was a Cold War, money was free, meaning you just asked it and it was there, like blank check. Money was no object, and USA won that. But this puppy costed them a lot of money. Most people have zero context how much of money we are talking about, and that's why I say, oh, if they could have done it in 1969, why they can't do it now? It's like, yeah, you won't pay for it. This is how much they were paying for it, which, to give you a context, more than 4% of national budget. To give you a context, what it is today is 0.4%. So fundamentally, a very large chunk of money that was being poured into this, and that was unsustainable. And you can see that, like, because be mindful, NASA was created very recently. Basically, Apollo was the first proper mission NASA did. Mercury and all that was just what you call lead up training ground, so to say. So NASA was created. They had to burn money like there is no tomorrow. Like GG amount of money was burned to build the infrastructure, the whole pipeline, so to say. And then they did Apollo 11, then they had Skylab, and then it started to come down. So 1%, like they were thinking that we're gonna maintain at 1% for some point, and it dipped, but it went back up after Challenger disaster, and ISS construction starts to happen. It's like, 1990s, the Columbia disaster happened, another one, and at that point in time they're like, yeah, we have to cut NASA's budget and cut space shuttle. That happens on, give or take, 2010 and 11. And the best thing that could have happened to NASA is 2020, SpaceX Crew 1 happens. And you can see that right now budget is low, and if government is logical, they will cut the budget even more. I'll explain that why that is a big deal and good thing. So budget cut happened. So 2026 is very, now China is coming into the race. So Yuri Gagarin was the first bitch slap. This is the second bitch slap. So China is very clear on that. We're gonna, ours is bigger than yours. It's very clear that. Only thing is, like, ours is later than yours. Basically, you came first. We're gonna upset you, so to say. So it is a very known day one kind of mission, and they are very clever on, even though officially they're targeting 2029. CCP is never saying, it's like they're saying, oh, we're gonna do lunar landing in 2030s. So they are giving themselves a wiggle room. If they manage to pull it off in 2029, great. If they do not, wiggle room. So that's the whole point. And the second race has started, but here's the deal: this time they have to achieve it, as in NASA must achieve this puppy without money. That's the hard part for NASA. It's like, do the same thing without spending money. So does China have an actual plan for it? Yes, this is a very good thing for China, because Apollo was Mark 1 product. Mark 1 product is always garbage. You create better, like, you do it first or you do it better. So China got the advantage of doing it better. So the idea is China has to send 3 people, 2 people to the moon surface, exactly Control C, Control V of Apollo. However, the rocket was the stupid part, as in Saturn V was huge and idiotically expensive. Like, so expensive that China could not afford it. However, China has clever knowledge of manufacturing, that they know that super duper large rocket is exponentially more expensive than reasonable rocket. And they can take the reasonable rocket, make it a bit more beefy, it won't be that expensive. For example, going from Falcon 9 to Falcon Heavy is not that expensive. Going from Falcon Heavy to Saturn V or Starship, it's bonkersly expensive, because again, everything scale changes. Like, your building costs more, your infrastructure, your launch pad, all of those things pile up. So what if they made 2 medium-sized rocket, aka 70-ton class rocket? Now, does America have any rocket that is in 70-ton class? No. Falcon Heavy is a bit lower than that, and that's in full disposable mode, and Blue Origin is also lower than that, although next iteration of Blue Origin will be that, and I'm pretty sure they are copy pasting the same topology, because it's far more easier to do, far more logical. So okay, now you have 2 rockets. Instead of making 1 rocket 150 ton to low Earth orbit, you have 2 rockets, and price is exponentially cheaper. So what are you going to do? The idea is you're gonna launch lunar lander and yeet it into low lunar orbit, LLO. You're just gonna yeet one. Second, you're gonna launch this puppy, which will have, again, the cruise systems, basically what Artemis 2 is. Assume this is Artemis 2. And both of them gonna go to low lunar orbit and gonna do docking. Astronaut will be transferred, 2 of them will be transferred from one to another, and then it's gonna go do the landing, gonna do ascent burn. This is what they are testing here. Dock again, dispose of it, and come back. Everything like Apollo, only difference is this part is much, much cheaper. Much cheaper. They can do this much cheaply. And you're like, okay, this allows you to do a mission, but it does not allow you to, drop tonnage into moon. Here's the, they can do that much more easily. All they have to do is take this puppy, either have this exact same thing, of course, increase the payload, and use the same rocket. But you're like, okay, isn't this already maxing out? Yes, but you have a trajectory option, meaning when you're sending for people, you are targeting 3-day delivery time. But when you're sending payload, like let's just say I'm sending a habitat module, that does not need to have that 3-day delivery. You can wait, you can do orbit raising maneuver and increase your tonnage. The slower, the longer your period will be, the more tonnage you can send. So you can easily extend it to a month. And the same rocket that was barely sending, let's say, give or take 10 ton to lunar surface, you can make it 15 tons or maybe 20 tons. So that's the whole point. They no longer have to burden themselves with super duper large rockets, nor they have to deal with logistical nightmare of like, how the heck you supply the moon without, having too much expenditure. Cheap rockets can do that. That's why it's a Long March 10. Everything about that rocket is Control-C, Control-V of all the pre-existing hardware. So it's almost like they're realizing that they have Falcon 9 and they can make Falcon Heavy. They're just pushing it up a bit because they need lunar. The plan is very clear. So they're like, yeah, we need 10 tons, so to say. So once they can do the landing and this, once this is sorted, I'm building habitat on the moon, that would be minor inconvenience. Doing this is the hard part. Once you have done this, you have a lot of wiggle room. You can increase the tonnage. And again, in future, maybe once you have sorted it, maybe you learn more. And you're like, okay, what if we now bigger motor, Long March 11, so to say. So this is China's Contender, very logical, very sound, and they're gonna do this because not to mention they are testing every single aspect. They have tested the landing capsule also. So they are working. There is a very good chance they're gonna do either trial run or actual mission in 2029. So by 2030, they will do it. Now we have USA stupidity. So USA had no plan, no logic, no brain after basically space shuttle failure. Once space shuttle failed in 2011, they had no idea what to do with it. And the primary reason was this puppy, the space shuttle. Basically, space shuttle required so many factories to be built, and senators were like, okay, this will be built in my area and I'll like provide jobs and all that. Once they realized that space shuttle was a death trap, they're like, okay, what to do now? Well, logical thing, cancel it. But every senator started firing missile at NASA. It's like, no, you cannot cancel it because those jobs must survive. So this is during Bush era. Bush had to come up with this idea. Okay, NASA, throw away the shuttle, reuse the parts, as much parts as you can. So solid booster were reused. The fuel tank was reused. This is the things that, again, shuttle, they had to retire it. So they're like, okay, we're going to reuse this. And the first project that was created was known as basically Constellation. Constellation had a clever idea. Basically, the idea was fuel tank would be just fuel tank and a heavy transporter. Solid booster would be the people transporter. They tested it, by the way. They actually launched the rocket with the solid booster alone as a full rocket. So that was also done. And the idea was their version of SLS, basically what you are seeing, basically the solid booster and the liquid booster, both would be doing a very heavy lift mission. And the mission planning was till Mars. Like how the heck you're going to go to Mars and all that. So they had that plan, but again, because of mess and politics, Obama comes along, is like, okay, why we are smoking weed and we should smoke even more cocaine and we're going to cancel the moon project. Because again, anyone who has brain knows that without moon mastery, you cannot touch Mars. Like you just cannot, unless you are Elon Weed. So you cannot do that. Like you must master moon properly, only then you can try Mars. So they're like, okay, we're going to cancel that. Okay, we're going to smoke some cocaine and we're going to do asteroid redirect mission. I don't even know how many of you know that. But that was a Obama weed where it's like, what if we capture an asteroid, bring it into orbit? And then it's like, what? Yes, that was the actual mission. If you ever wonder where the heck the early animation of Orion came from, that's where they came from. So all this happened. However, all this mess was going on. The one good thing happened, commercialization of space. American politics kind of realized that if they have to fund this, they're going to go bankrupt. So they have to have some second option. Commercialization happened. SpaceX was the best gift they can get. So by 2020, now they are realizing that China has a path. China has already done Long March, Lunar Mission 1, 2, 3, smaller ones and all that. So they kind of realized that China is going to land to the moon. Like that will happen. It's not a if, it's a when. Then USA gets serious about moon in 2020. Trump is president at this point in time. So all the wastage now comes to bite back America in the ass. It's like, yeah, they can't do anything. This was idiotically behind schedule. They were wasting money on topology that did not measure rectilinear halo orbit. Who is smoking it? But they had to do it, so that wasted so much time. That's why they do not have landing capability on moon right now. They don't even have a proper plan for it. All the BS, now they're like, okay, this is 2026, we're gonna lose the race. Okay, delete all the garbage. Okay, the first thing deleted, this version is deleted. There won't be block 2, there won't be block 2B, all of those deleted. There won't be a launch tower upgrade, delete all of that. Copy paste these things and hope, beg, pray to commercial players that they can take care of the other half. Because again, this rocket is useless. It can't go to the moon, even though it looks like as impressive as Saturn V. It's useless. Again, no engineer designed this. This was just job maintenance yojana. So they're like, okay, so now NASA is like, okay, we're gonna delete all the money that was being burned for Lunar Gateway. We're gonna delete all the money that was being burnt from this upgrades, all of that, now do something. So the idea is Elon went full weed. And again, understanding Elon Musk is giving me idea, proper appreciation why people fell for Theranos, even though every single doctor knew you can't test blood with one drop of blood. So Elon is like, what if I throw away rocket equation? Rocket equation is like, throw away the parts that you don't need. This is a second stage of a rocket. This is the payload. But what if you smoke cocaine and you're like, okay, what if I throw this whole thing to the moon? Why? Why? Saturn V does not throw the second stage to the moon. It throws third stage. This part, not this. Why? So they're like, okay, but hear me out, hear me out. What if I refuel it? It's like, okay, every time you're refueling it, you're only carrying this much into orbit. You need this much in low Earth orbit. Yeah, it's not happening. So, no, hear me out. We're going to give brain damage to people by showing always that we are only just doing one refueling, but it will require minimum 15 to 25. Again, so far, not even SpaceX or NASA can give you an absolute number. This is the refueling count. Nobody knows. So we're going to refuel this second stage rocket for some reason, and then we're going to send this to the moon, and it will be useless. Or here's the, you can do the same thing, normal thing. Do just have a third stage. This is a basically a testing module for a Blue Lander. Now, thankfully, this was under construction, and Artemis 3 testing would rely on this, not on this. By the way, he took money to deliver this in 2024. Did not happen. Let me be very clear. Starship could work easily. It will only work great for Starlink deployment. Anything else, it's not designed for that. Again, it does not have payload delivery system. Although, let that be very clear, there are clear rumors that in 2026, very recently, NASA flat out asked them, please de-risk the mission. Fancy way of saying, stop smoking cocaine. You can't refuel this 11 times. Stop smoking again. Go back to the drawing board and understand why we do not carry this useless thing instead of this. So, de-risk the mission. More than 5 to 6 YouTubers have figured it out, and it's actually in NASA documentation. We just do not know the design. Some people are saying they're gonna send the smaller one because, but again, how would you send it? There is no door, there is no payload door. So how the heck you will do that? Maybe they can make a disposable one, but realistically, this idea of refueling 11 to 15 to 20 times is illogical to say the least, and expensive to say the least. So this idea is very simple. New Glenn launches this launches the people, they dock in space, the end, mission is done. This may require one refueling, but again, one refueling is far more digestible, and again, they have absolute, and that refueling can also be bypassed if they are not doing that rectilinear weird brain damage orbit. So again, that's why I said, like, it was God tier level stupidity. But again, if you understand that stupidity, you understand why Solar Roadway got money. If you understand that stupidity, you understand why people believed in Project Neo, which was cancelled now. So understand those things. Like, engineer will work on anything as long as you pay them. So I'm pretty sure more than enough engineers in SpaceX would be like, yo, this is stupid, but Elon Weed, it's like, he's paying your salary. You're not gonna fight that guy. So right now, ironically, there is a very good chance that Blue Origin becomes the one that actually does the lunar landing in 2030. Maybe 15 years from now, this finally catches up, finally figures out how to have doors, deployment, third stage, all that. But right now, this is much more likely to actually land people on moon. Although I am seriously doubtful that even they can pull it off in 2029. Timeline is too tight now. So let's understand it. Why go to the moon? A lot of people are saying, "Oh, moon is useless." No, those are people are smoking Elon weed. So moon is a safe space, meaning it's very close to us and it's big to us. Meaning, for example, if we had evolved on Mars, we had tiny rocks. We do not have moon. We had tiny rocks. So this is big enough and close enough. Close enough as in it's barely 1.9 light second away, barely. So it's a very safe space where we can practice, learn, grow, and then move on rather than wait 2 years and then wait basically 9 months to actually transit. It's like, bro, 3 days away, go. So that's a good thing. And if you can make a spacesuit that can handle that environment, you can easily handle Mars. Like, oh, but how did they do in Apollo? They did not. They were just hoping and praying. Like before astronauts were sent, they were capturing video. What if we go kaboom? It was everything had almost negligible margin. Hope it works. Hope it works. And it was very uncomfortable for them. And again, the whole inside of the lunar module got covered in dust. There was not enough sealing. They were just hoping for it. This time they can't allow that. Like we have 4K video, man. So you have to make sure that suit properly seals. The seals last enough. And again, this environment is worse than Mars simply because Mars has much stronger gravity, so dust will more like larger dust particles will fall. Second, here the static charge is worse. Because there is no atmosphere, the grains do not have any sort of grinding action, what we call erosion. So they are sharp, jaggedy, shift, delete your seals kind of thing. So if your suit can handle this puppy, Mars would be like minor inconvenience. So that's the first thing we can test. And in situ resource utilization. Right now, all our mission is, and even Apollo was like send a thing from Earth to moon. Even Chinese mission is send a thing from Earth to moon. So that's a good starting point, but that's not the end game. That's the seed. Was the tree here? Tree is in situ resource utilization, meaning you have to build a habitat. You're gonna drop a metal tube and you're gonna cover it with regolith. So how the heck you gonna cover it with regolith? Like you can just lay it over, but it's inefficient. So what if you can make bricks out of it? Now, once you can make that, like once you can make bricks out of regolith without requiring anything from Earth, then we are talking. How can you do that? Well, there are a lot of options. Like some people are trying melting it. Some people are trying about sintering it. There are a lot of practice that they are trying to do. And again, we have to test this. We have to do this. So once you have a habitat, once you landed the habitat, you need basically a launch pad where rockets can land without causing orbital debris with orbital velocity. So for that reason, you need to create a pad where it's solid, it's robust, it's hard rock, which is flat. So all of those things have to be needed for done for Mars also. But again, where would you test it? 2 years launch window or hey, 3 days away. Let's test it at 3 days away. So all of these things are on paper, can be done, but never have been done or even attempted by humanity. China does have 1 or 2 missions very soon that they're gonna actually try to use solar concentrator to melt regolith and see how things work. Because again, we know it should work, we just do not know how effective it will work, or like cool down cracking, it's an unknown part. But again, cool down on moon would be very slow. So how does it impact? Like, does it cause massive crack or no cracks? If it's no crack, we done. We good, bro. We can do amazing things. You drop a habitat, cover it with bricks, big interlocking bricks. There are 5 to 6 competitions going on right now to what geometry we should make these bricks into. Some are like, okay, what if we just have powder, melt it, almost like a 3D printer. Some are like, what if make one mold, master mold, melt things inside it, and then just interlock them. And that will give you a much stronger structure, so you won't have a giant slope. You can pack habitats close to each other. So, and again, that allows you to have massive shielding, meaning you can reduce the radiation exposure of people on lunar habitat modules lower than what it is on ISS. That's like, shut up, take money. That's much safer. Another aspect is energy management. We do not know what to do with energy in space, because right now what we have is some RTGs, mostly solar. This will force us to deal with megawatts scale of power. Now, of course, not for keeping people alive, but for doing the in situ resource utilization. How do you deal with that? How do you manage it? All of those things. It's not like the old era where we, Apollo just dropped a RTG and just like, tada, okay, you have to collect it. You have to manage it. So all of those things. Energy management. And solar will be the backbone, let that be very clear. From a mass point of view, for 15 days, you can utilize on solar and you can do far more work for per ton of rocket mass you sent. So solar will still be the backbone. Nuclear would be the winter layover, so to say. All of these things have to be done without money, meaning all of these things must generate revenue or cost very less. So people can do it on site or government can do it on site. So this is the hard part. And again, without these things being sorted, don't think about Mars. Can we send people to Mars on one-way mission and bring them home safely? Maybe. Maybe. You're stretching too much to do that. But again, is it wise to do that? Unless you can do this on moon properly, like where our people are living on moon and we have manufacturing on moon. Yeah, and I do not mean manufacturing like human level, earth level manufacturing. Manufacturing as in like at least raw structures, at least some level of steel, some beam, reinforcement, some things. Then we can try Mars properly. Like, of course, we're going to do habitat missions, but like properly doing that, you must master moon. So here's the interesting part about it. It's about psychology. So there are two types of people. One who bitches and another who solves the problem. Now I'm going to tell you a statement. You have to understand. That's why humanity was so strong in the past and now we are dying out from anxiety. Humans are the problem. Humans have the problem. So fundamentally, anyone who reads history like properly will know that when he had tiny population, we did not had anything, not even hot shower, let alone cure for things that we just taken for granted. Like, you have basically lose motion, you do not die. Like, people forget about it, that food poisoning, delete is a shift delete, not just like, okay, go to shop near you, buy WHORS, put it in water, drink it, you good. So fundamentally, the more brains you have, the more pollution problem will be solved. And again, fundamentally, you can see that. Now everybody's like, oh, Methuselah retarded mathematics that said in 1870 that if Earth's population ever crossed to more than 1 billion, humanity will die. Yeah, happened long ago. Mathematics was wrong. If you assume humans have brain, there is no population limit. Nothing. Nothing. Now, of course, you can say thermodynamic limit. Yeah, that's at trillions. That's at trillions, assuming at farming. So fundamentally, there are people who bitch and there are people who push through it. The people who push through it, they can solve all the problem, and they do. That's why you and I are here, we are alive, we are bitching about it. So fundamentally speaking, this is the filter for humanity. Meaning, if take a culture, if too many of them became the bitcher, nothing happens, everybody dies. If enough of them are problem solvers, something happens and they push through it. That's it. There is nothing more than that. You have problem? Awesome. Solve it. That's where money is. Solve it. Like, there is Sherlock Holmes, there is one episode, nice, like, solve it. That's it. There is nothing more to humanity. Like, for example, people say, oh, we have global warming. Minor inconvenience to solve. Then why haven't solved it? Too many people who bitch and too many people who do not study periodic table and do not understand that hydrogen is the lightest element. You can't carry it as an energy carrier. And then they're like, okay, what if we burn billions of dollars for hydrogen? Oh, there was this truck company known as, what was known as? Edison? Nikola. So you get the point. There are people who bitch and there are people who solve the problem. So this going to Mars or going to moon is those people's playground. They're gonna go, they're gonna push. Again, most people cannot handle the psychological load of that. We are dying ourselves because of psychological stress of marriage, and in India it's so lethal that it's deleting 100,000 men annually. So we are not gonna go. So only people who are the best of the best of the best, they're gonna go. And they have to let go of their past. That means a clean slate. You do not understand the value of that clean slate fact. So fundamentally, it's a great filter. Humanity has to A, evolve life, B, evolve more multicellular, C, civilization. We think we have reached that, but again, have we? Because again, our node is Earth, the end. We do not have moon, we do not have Mars, we do not have Jupiter, we do not have Saturn, we do not have Uranus, we do not have, heck, Venus we don't have that. Like, Venus should be easy. By the way, all terraforming calculation, Venus, all you need is a mirror in its Lagrange point. It will become better than Mars. In all vectors, you just have to build the mirror, wait for 200 years. In Mars, it's like hope for 300 to 400 years. Hope. And you're like, okay, wouldn't Venus lose the atmosphere? It has denser atmosphere than Earth. Gravity, baby. Stronger gravity, almost 0.9 of Earth gravity. So, like, we don't even have Venus. So we must take care of the moon, must take care of Mars, must take care of Venus, and then we're like, okay, this star system, like, we good. And if we do not, because here's another aspect, Earth will expire one day. That's an absolute fact. It's not if this, then that. No, it will happen. We just do not know when or what will cause it. It's like, not if, when. So, like, Earth can have sneeze. It's called supermassive volcano, shift delete of humanity. Again, has happened, and we have extinction record of that. Biological life form creating a disaster has happened. We are not the first one. Kaput, delete. Atmosphere went from CO2 to oxygen rich, deleting way too many organisms. Tell me, what is that called? So fundamentally, there are a lot of things. Oh, asteroids. Boom. Oh, sun can also sneeze hard and delete your atmosphere. So it will happen. And again, likelihood of you surviving if something bad happens to Earth, if you're on Moon, low. But likelihood of you surviving if something bad happens to Earth and you are on Mars, very high. So that's the whole point, expanding ourselves, pushing our brain. And again, you have to look Earth a bit differently. Earth is a cradle world, meaning we started here. We did not get any alien coming to us. Let's say there's Starship, they're like prime directive, we're not going to tell humans what to do. So we do not have an alien that is telling us this is how you maintain a planet, this is how you run it. We are figuring everything out as ourselves. And again, somebody said it quite well, like we humans have power of gods, but emotions of chimpanzees. Like we got the technology, we good. Like Rudolph Diesel would be rolling in his grave. It's like, bro, we solved your global warming problem before it became a problem. So that's the whole thing. And once you push yourself to that level, there is two outcomes: technology and competition. That might fix it. For example, a lot of kids who leave their house. In India, it's normal. You leave the house and you come back, right? You go there, you study, and you get a job, and you're like, okay, let me come back to. You do your own business and all. In business, it's normal. So at that point in time, you realize how horrible the outside world is, and you treat your house bad. Or worst case scenario, you left your house, even though it was house, it was not safe, calm, peaceful. You're like, you went somewhere else and you created something good for yourself. In both scenario, you win. So same thing will happen with Earth. The more these people who can do something, they can, like, they need to be decluttered from rest of humanity. It's like, go push and pull us along. But if we pull them down, it's like, no, you cannot do this. Yeah, we all gonna die. So that's the psychological part of it, because you have no idea how much psychological strength you have to have in order to have 4 people in a bathtub basically and not go kaput on each other. You do not understand the psychological strain on that, like how badly people go kaput in those sort of scenarios. And that's 4 days mission or 11 days. Imagine doing that for years. Like that sort of psychological screening, best of the best in terms of endurance can go. So this was my presentation on why going to the moon matters so much. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please give the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.